gotta bring up my backup account and then we'll get going. I messed around with my ring lights last night and I really feel like I am sitting too high and I've got more shadows than I had before. I'm trying to work on getting the glare and the shadows to go away, so I might be working on that here as we're live. Because, that's just something you have to deal with. Thank you, Ashley, for hopping on to share and to do that for me. I appreciate it. There we go. Yeah, I got some head shadowing going on. Oy. Okay. I'm not liking it. I'm going to change up my lighting. Hold on, everybody. I was trying to get some glares to go away, but I got too many shadows now. We'll try this and see. That's okay. It's not the best, but I'm not going to mess with it anymore. And I need to move you all this way. There we go. All right, welcome in. I am Carol, the owner and creator at CarolJo's. It's where community and creativity come together. Okay, I'll go look for it after the live. Come together for the jewelry makers here in the social media world. I am live on 2 different devices. We have TikTok and we have the tube over here. So yay, we do different things every week. Twice a week we go live with chats. That's where we have time for you guys to be able to ask questions. We share tips and tricks and we just do all that fun stuff and getting to know each other. Twice a week we do tutorials, and that's what today is. Today is a tutorial, but that's where I will show you step by step how to create jewelry. Today is just like Monday night, where we're going to take it a step further and explain some things and how you can design for the trends that are going on in 2026. So we're going to just make one thing that I bet a lot of you know how to do, but I want to show people how to do it so that you can be able to create it. But then I want to talk about next steps beyond just creating. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, Ashley. Thank you for hopping on and doing that. I really do appreciate it. And then we do what we call live events, which those events are where we have debut of the components and the findings that we use to make jewelry. We'll have encores, which is when we bring back items. And then we have return to the studio. Studio is what we are now going to call the place that a spider makes, because we can't say the word. But the studio, when it returns to the studio, it's where we had it empty before, when I brought more in so that you guys can enjoy it again. All right, so today's tutorial, if we talk about what we did last week, remember last week we had that community of different creators from Zulie's community, that she has all those individuals come on, and every day they taught something different. We had 5 days, and it just so happened, of all things, we had 5 days of necklaces. The 5th day we also were taught earrings and a bracelet. But with having all of those necklaces, when I looked at them and seeing how they were all done, each necklace was created differently, but they could all be layered together. And that just made me stop and pause and think about layering of necklaces, how we can do it, how can we make something and create something that can be interchangeable with other necklaces. Because one of the things that in the past, all of our necklaces, when we've created them for that layered effect, we've had them where they had to be like perfectly set. One of the trends was like, if I had one here, I had to have one here, and I had to have one here. And they had to be perfectly done, and they couldn't intertwine with each other. They just had to lay perfect. Last year's layer trend was they could all be the same length and they could interchange. It was just wear layers. This year's trend is about there isn't either one of those. You can wear things that, I'm going to say the words that Buttercup uses a lot when she is in her creative mode, Everything has to be aesthetically pleasing. That is her words that she uses when she talks about creating or doing anything. Her outfits have to be a certain color. They have to be a certain way. And what it means when I see it, I just say it's put together. I don't have another word. Her word of aesthetic is like, I'll say the bougie word, and that's what she uses. So it made me stop and think about what the trend is about the layered necklaces and about the necklaces that we've made in the past. We've always made them in the past to be a certain length. Like, that's it. Is it Paula J? Hello. And so I took a step back and I thought about this. Hi Angela. I can do different layers of the necklaces based upon the different, I can wear the same necklace with different necklaces, and I'm going to need it as a different length to be aesthetically pleasing with all of them. None of it has to be the same, like, distance apart. They don't need to intertwine. They just need to lay on your body, you're here or longer. Long necklaces are coming back. So you guys have always seen me wear this one, so I just grabbed it today. It's one of the long ones. This is the length one I mean by long this year. It is one that's just longer. It just goes over your neck. Can have a pendant on it, that type of thing. I can wear this by itself, and it is perfectly fine. I don't have a favorite necklace. I love all different kinds of necklaces, but I only usually wear them more in the summer because of the necklines. As you can tell, I am in a short sleeve shirt. I live in South Dakota. This is not the norm. But I wanted to have a neckline that made sense because I will be trying them on. Putting these on my neck display today won't do it justice that we need, okay? So that's why I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. And the other thing that I thought about when we were doing this is we made this one. Thank you, Lulu. We made a memory wire necklace in silver. All this is 4mm silver beads. And we added the extender on this because this one's going to be more of the choker length, but because we did the extender, we can move it down if we wanted to. And I didn't even think about this while we were doing this tutorial to talk about what we're talking about today. And that is having the extenders on there so that you can change it up. So I'm going to put this one on. There's a reason why I'm putting these on, everybody. So this one can lay like that. Now, I'm not a very big on the choker, so that's why I'm like, I want it down further. But there you go. So we can have the, this one. I'm missing something in here. That's what we're missing. It can be here, it could be here, it could be anywhere. It could be a necklace with a pendant dangling down of a single bead. It could be whatever you want to create. I am taking this one off though for right now because it's going to drive me nuts having this one on while I want to create the other one. And we're going to create one today that's going to go in between those two necklaces, okay? All we're going to do is last night when we were on our live chat, I said, I'm going to use these beads because this strand that I got in is shorter than all the other strands. Hold on. I have it upside down again. Nope. I don't know which way it goes, but I'm going to hold it this way so I don't lose them. But we have this shorter strand. This strand has, when we're going to create this necklace, I want this necklace to be between a 16 to a 19 inch. And I have 9 inches. Our clasp will usually take up an inch. So that gets us to 10. And remember I said I want it to be at 19? So that means I need 9 inches. I need to add something in there. I can't have it just be this. Thank you, Star Marie, for the heart me. I appreciate that. So I grabbed some 3mm gold plated spacer beads. I'm not going to place them solidly. We're going to test this as we go. And I forgot my wire, so I got to grab that. I do have my crimp tubes, but I forgot the wire. I'm going to place those so that they will be in there and give it an eye-pleasing break. I don't know if that's going to be every 3 beads I'm going to put a gold one, or every 5. I know I don't want to do every other. That's going to be too much of the gold for what I want. And if you can tell, the other thing is that you can mix metals this year. So I have, this is the silver, like an antique silver. We have the silver here, and we're going to put the middle is going to be gold. If you know me, I don't do gold. But, and then just like we did on this one, we have our extender. So I have this length of the paper clip chain in gold, and then I have this one. So I don't know how long I'm going to need. So I just have that. That's actually the end of a roll. And I have a lobster claw clasp. This one is, let me tell you the size. I think it's a 16 by 8. Heck yeah, I was right. 16 by 8 is the size of that lobster claw clasp. I need to go grab my bead wire. So let me grab that really quick. I'm just grabbing this one. I am grabbing my 21 strand bead wire by AccuFlux. All right. Now, remember I said I wanted a 19-inch necklace at the end of this? So I need to add on a little bit more on each end, or, you know, a little bit more to that length, because we are going to be crimping today. So I'm going to point you all down now. When I point you all down, I cannot see comments as easily. If I look at the backup account, I will be able to see them on TikTok. I don't have a backup of YouTube. So don't think I'm ignoring y'all. Just know that I just can't see them. And we'll answer them when I come back up, okay? But I want you guys to see what I'm doing rather than me just explaining it. All right. So here we've got 18. I'm going to do 22 inches. I'm going to grab a flush cutter, and I'm going to use the flush cutter to do that. And you guys, I'm usually better prepared at this. I don't have my bead stopper either. Oh my Lord. I spent so much time finding my gold crimp tubes that I forgot about everything else. There we go. So what a bead stopper, for those of you who don't know, it's this. It's just a wire spring. You push it together like that. That opens it up. You put your wire in between, and it makes it so your beads don't fall off the end. Now I'm going to start here first by putting 3 of the cream. This is a cream color triangle bead that is 3.3 by 3.6. So it's a small bead. Then I'm going to put 1 of the gold. And then I'm going to do 3 more. I didn't pick out my pattern before we started, so I'm going to show you exactly how I think of things and how I do it when I'm putting them together. So here is the 3-1-3 pattern. And I'm not too, like, it's all right. The other way I want to try is something I didn't say earlier, and that was the 3-5 pattern. So we do 3 of the triangles, 1 spacer, and then 5 of the triangle beads, and then we're going to put 3 on. I got to get the right end. There we go. 1, 2, 3. I kind of like that. The other one is the 5-on-5. So 5, 1, 5. So I'm just going to add 2 more of the triangle and look at this one and go, do I like that? So, hi, Adora. So my question is, what one should I do? Should I do 313, 315, or 515? You guys put it in the chat. I'm looking at it on TikTok. I'll look down. I'll keep ducking down for YouTube. You guys tell me, which one do you like the best? I'm going to take a drink while you guys put that comment in there. All right. We'll do 315. Thank you. So then I took two of them off. So we have 3, 1, 5, 1, 3. And now we're going to keep doing this until we get to where we want to be for the length of the necklace. And I'm hoping I have enough beads to get us to the length of necklace, the length of the necklace that I want. All right, there's 5. So this one will be 3. And if you remember, I said I want it to be 16 to 19. The reason being, I want to talk about that while I am stringing here, is that if I want it to be shorter, like a choker, I would like that to be 16 inches and be able to wear it that way. If I want it to be longer, I need it to be like 18 to 19 inches. Yeah, she was. She's been commenting. There she is. I will let y'all know. No? What is it? Let's see. Okay, 4.5 with 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just about an inch for every one of the patterns. So we're hoping we can get 16 of these patterns done. Oh no, it's all my fault. Oh no. I need to get those tappers. Hi, Laura. All right. There's 5 of the pattern. Oh, thank you, Laura, for the gift. I appreciate that. And as always, everybody, if we get to 10K on the likes, we already have the shares. Ashley had to go do something, but she came in and shared it out so that you guys could all join us today. And then, so we have already got our share, or yeah, our share goal. Now we just need to work on the like goal. Oh no. Well, we figured out what's going on with my shoulder. I really pulled some muscle in it really bad. So, doing some stretches to make sure it gets better. We have another one of the patterns. I think we're up to 7. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them equals almost 8 inches. Yay. I don't think I have enough to do another 7, which is okay. That's why I brought the chain that I brought. There's 3. Yep, that's what we talked about too, was doing a little bit of heat before we do the stretching to loosen everything up, do the stretches. And of all things, I actually did my stretches in the shower today. I know that sounds really weird, but I take a very hot shower. I know we're not supposed to, but I do. And I did that. And then after that, after we get off the live, I will ice it because I didn't have time to ice it right away. So yeah, it's just, I love a warm shower. And I was like, it was refreshing. I know that sounds really weird, but sometimes stretching just makes you feel more open. I don't know how else to say it than the word open. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Thank you for letting me feel like I'm a human being that's normal. All right. Ooh, this is going to work out perfect. Not for like getting me to 16 inches, but the way we're ending on the beads here. Okay. I did 5 more, and I'm going to double check this before I do anything to make sure I've got the 3 and the 5 accurately and I didn't mess up. Oh. Oh, see, they didn't give me neck stretches. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I have 10. And that gives us, without gold on each end, 11 and a half. Okay. I'm going to do a gold bead on that end. I'm going to take off my bead stopper on this end and put it on the other end. There we go. All right. That gives us a total of 11 3/4. We're going to be doing math here now, everybody. When I said I wanted 16 inches, that is where I wanted it to start before the extender. So if I do 11 and a half, and then my closure is another half. So let's just say we've got 12 inches here. To get to 16, I need 4 inches. I can do one of 2 things. You guys can help me on this one. Yep, I did. You can put that, so we can do 2 things. We can do 2 inches of gold beads on each end to get us to the 16, or I could do a piece of the gold chain to get us there. I'm not like, my personal thing is I don't know that I want the gold chain. I think I just want the gold beads because I want to use the chain as my extender and have a transition. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Should we do gold beads or gold chain? Okay, you guys are saying beads. I think Nordic Luna is heading towards the beads also. Michelle says beads. Okay, we will put 2 inches of beads on each end. So I'll put those on. Let's see where we're at. Okay, we have 1 1/4 here. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to add 7 and see where we're at. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take 2 off. So that should be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. We're going to have 17 on each end. And you know what, Laura? That makes it okay if you want to do it. Truly and honestly, you get to design how you want to do it. Okay, where are you guys getting snow at? You don't have to say exact if you don't want. But we're supposed to get snow possibly tomorrow in South Dakota. I don't remember where everybody's at. Because this year, and even towards the end of last year, I wasn't doing my map of like trying to sell in all 50 states for the year. I knew I wasn't going to hit it at the end of 2025, so I just ended up not doing it. But I'm like toying with that. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to move these out of the way so I won't accidentally use them. We're not getting any right now. We're cold. Holy buckets, Teresa. You guys don't do snow in Georgia. Okay, at first, Laura, so you're not in the same exact neck of the woods. I have, okay, that's 15 1/4, so I do need more. I have a cousin that lives in Holland, Michigan. So you're not close, because I think she's more like Grand Rapids area. When I last looked this morning, it said it was 30 degrees, but felt like it was 32 or 34, but felt like 23. Geez, so you guys don't get it very often. Yep, the Tulip Festival is in her neck. They have the Tulip Festival every May, and her kids walk in the parade with their wooden shoes. There we go. That was it. That's what we needed. So this is what it'll look like. Now, this means I do not need to have, it's funny, I have one bead. I'm going to cut it off if I can find where the thing is at. It's knotted on here and I got to find it. I cannot see it. Oh, I cannot see it. We'll have to do that later. I'm going to put it in the bead soup. She is 2 hours. Yeah, I was thinking she's a ways because she's more, I think, Grand Rapids, Michigan is closer to her. What we're going to do now is I'm going to take, I have gold, they're gold filled crimp tubes. And gold filled crimp tubes look like this. They're not like sterling silver crimp tubes that I use. I do 2mm crimp tubes when I do this. I don't do crimp beads. I just like crimp tubes. That is my preference. Everybody can have their own preference of what you like. But I use that. And the reason why I like sterling silver better is because the metal base of sterling silver, when you crimp it in that two-fold process, hardens it so it doesn't slip off. I do not like silver in any other different ones because of that. They slip off so easy. So I always do sterling silver when I do silver. When it gets to gold, gold is way too expensive for my price point of me. So I do the gold filled. It doesn't slip as easily as the gold plated. It's just not as secure as sterling silver. That's just what I want to let you know. Well, what kind of crimp tubes are you using? That I just had to be like, whoa, are you being strong? And then I had to step back and think for a moment. Are you using them? Are they sterling silver or are they a different base metal? So that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our crimp tube. We're going to put that on. If you see, it's on the wire. We're going to take our closure, put that in on our wire, go over the top and form the U there, and go back through the crimp tube the opposite way. So if you notice here, I've got my U. I'm trying to show you this end here, and it's coming out this end right there. And then just push this down. Okay. So we want it to be, I want you to see this. I'm trying to get it to there. Do you see how we're back just a little bit, allowing this to dangle, but I don't have a big, huge gap? That is what we want. With the crimp pliers, there are 2 holes. There is a hole right here, right there, and a hole right there. The first time we crimp it, we do it on the back one, and then we go to the front one. Let me show you over here on YouTube, the 2 holes, the first one, and then the second one. You start with the one closest to your hand. What you do is you put your crimp tube in, line it up, look at it from the top, and if you're using the 2mm crimp tubes, you shouldn't see any of it hanging out left or right. And then you just squeeze it together. And that creates a U in that crimp tube. If I can get you guys see where we got that U. I also call it the open hot dog bun. Once you get done with that, you turn the U away from you so it's facing out. Go into that front hole. Line it up again so that you don't see any of the crimp tube. I got wasn't lined up right. There we go. So you don't see any of the crimp tube on the left or the right. It should be right in there if you're using the 2 millimeters, and just crimp it down. If in this stage you hear a little click, that means you didn't get it centered in there and it moved. And just reposition it and start again. I always test my crimp tubes by taking my thumb and pushing down to see if it's going to move. It is not. So we got that one good. Now, if you can, sometimes your holes don't allow this, take some of your beads and cover up your wire that you have from when you folded it over and went the opposite way. And you don't have to do a ton of them. I got like 3 of the beads. I'm going to use my flush cutters and just go in and cut that end off. Yep, there's a lot of individuals that are allergic to nickel. All right, on this end. Now remember, we want to do somewhere around 19. We've got our clasp on now. I'm going to measure it. We are at 16 3/4. So what I need to do is I need 2 1/4 inch of the gold chain. If I'm remembering, let me make sure I'm getting that. 16 3/4, right? I'm going to measure again. Yep. So 2 1/4. Okay. I'm doing math. Okay. I'm trying to see. This one is a soldered one, so that means I can't open it. So I'm going to cut one of these off. I'm going to throw away that link. Did you notice I have to pause and make sure I'm getting my numbers right? And that's okay. Now take your other crimp tube, put it on your wire, push it down to the end, grab your chain, add that, bring it around through your crimp tube. You see how my chain is down here? I'm going through my crimp tube. And now I'm going to try to go through some of the beads and then come up and out. And I got through 3 of them. Pull on that chain to get that, or the wire to get the chain to come closer. Do you see how I have a big gap there? That's not what I want. That's when I say try to get it as close to it without having a gap. That's not what we want. So I'm going to pull this down just a little bit more. And sometimes I do have to get a plier to help me pull on it to get that gap out. There we go. You see now how I don't have that gap like I had before. That's what we want. We also want to have our beads laying like, I just hold them like this to have them all naturally gravitate down to make sure I don't have extra space in my wire when we're closing it. These are lightweight beads. They're very snug on the wire and such. I didn't have a lot. Sometimes you will. Do the same steps. The back hole of your crimp tube pliers, push it down to create the U. The U now turns away from you. Go in the front and push it down. And this is what it should look like when you're done. I didn't show you on the other side, sorry. We're going to take our string here. We have this extra, we got to cut it off. How I cut it off is I bring this down and open up a hole here where my wire is coming out and use my flush cutters to get in there to cut that out. I love it. And then you use your lobster claw clasp to put the necklace on. And you can use it at any length there between 16, it's a little bit less, or it's a little bit more than 16 inches to 19 inches. I'm going to bring you guys up and I want to show you. Whoop. Hey, Connie. All right, so I'm just going to leave this one at its longest length. If I can get it in there. I might have to do it this way. I don't normally have to do it this way, but my hair is in the way because it's down. There it is. I need a mirror. There we go. All right. Now remember I said I wanted it somewhere in between there? And it turned out that way. And then we can take this last one, which is a memory wire necklace. And we're going to put that one on. And we can have that one up a little bit or bring it down a little bit because we also have that. And this is what I want you guys to understand is part of how to do a layering with different lengths. This is the style for this year. They don't have to be a choker length. You could have it be down here, have this one a little bit longer. You can have a longer one. You can have one here. That is what's great about this year's length about layering is that it doesn't matter your length. My hair was getting caught now. You want to learn how to make this one? Is that what you're saying there, butterfly? NB Designs. You can also, as part of this, you could do just these two if you wanted to. Okay, I'll tell you something here in a second about it. Or you could just wear one. Like I could not have this one on and just wear this one. And let me tell you, I really like, okay, I don't do gold. You guys all know I do not do gold, but I don't see the overpowering part of the gold here. I kind of like that. Holy buckets, you guys. I don't do gold. I might just be wearing this one now. This one might be mine. See, and it's very simple. And so that, I love that length on it with this neckline. I really do. And that's what I wanted to talk about with our trends for this year. They're different than they've been in the past. And so that's why you can do one necklace. You know, I was always taught do it in threes. This year, you can do two necklaces and it's okay. If I wanted to just do these two together, I sure the heck could. It's a different game than we've had in the past. You can go for the bohemian look. You can do, and the way I had it, when I had all three, to me, that was more sophisticated. So it can go the whole gamut of every style of clothing that you're wearing, what you're doing. Just not winters in South Dakota do layered necklaces work. So, because it's South Dakota and it's cold and we wear a lot more layers. But this is what is the trend for the spring and summer of this year. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. And that's why I wanted to show you. If I didn't want it with this neckline, I wouldn't want it to be any shorter, I don't think. But if I wanted a short one, because I had a round neck collar on, by putting that extender on there, I can change it down. And it could be this length and look fine with a round, the collar with the type scenario. So that's the one thing that I want you guys to think about as you are creating whatever lines you want to create for your for this summer and spring. You can change up and add extenders so that people can wear it different way. I have never thought about it until recently. Yes, we did it on this one. And the reason why we did it on this one is so that we can move it up and down, or depending on your size of your neck and, that type of thing. But when I thought about it from the aspect of what I was seeing when I have been looking at different trends, I'm like, extenders are going to make this, because I could end up making this one be long or short. So this one could be the shorter one, and I could have a different one that has a pendant on it and have that down there, and that will give us a totally different look. But by just moving where that's at and using a different style of necklace with it. And that's the one thing that this year's style is, you don't have to be like, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, it was like everything had to be gold, and it had to be like you would have an initial and then a pearl or a diamond and then a plain chain. I mean, it was like very specific. This year is not specific at all like that. Yes, gold is more prevalent this year, but we all know I am not a gold girl. And so for me to design with gold is usually harder. Yep, the mixing of the metals. That's why I went with gold with this one, is to show you you can mix the metals. We got gold, we had silver. But the thing is that it doesn't, I mean, yes, you can see it, but it doesn't look as odd. Yep, you can. Yep, you can make these. And I was like, okay, I'm just loving the way this style is and the way that we can think about it, and just by changing up something we do. Now, what I'm going to tell you about, if you're going to use the chain and make your own extender, check your chain before you put it on there, that whatever clasp you're using can go through the different chains. As you see, this one is a smaller one. And sometimes, you know, one of them that I picked out from my lobster claw, and I've put it away because I was like, oh, I don't want these out on my desk. It didn't go through there very easily. It was actually too small, and I had a hard time getting it to hook on. So I went with a bigger size with the 12, or this is the 16 by 8. I started with a 12 by 6 or 7, and it wasn't easy to get that one on. So then I went with this one, and I'm like, it's a lot easier. It still fits, and it goes in there and such. So double check that your lobster claw clasp that you're going to be using can go in that chain when you're using that chain for that extender. That's my word of advice on picking it. One thing I found out when I was working with the gold is that I had this gold paper clip chain, and I just grabbed chain that was next to me here. And so I have this chain here. It's the wrong color gold. So I was like, with this closure, they are different. You can't see it as well. Oh, I forgot to show you guys on YouTube. Sorry. This one is a brighter gold, and the other one is the light gold. So you got to just, if you're going to use gold, watch your colors of gold. Gold comes in different tints. That's all I can say about that, is that there's different golds. Silver, you usually have platinum or silver. And so you're going to want to watch to make sure that you're using silver and silver, or platinum and platinum, and not mixing the silver and the platinum. The way to look at it is platinum is more, it's in between like silver and stainless steel color. So it's a little bit duller than silver. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. And we got to 10K. Woohoo! So that means we get to do a giveaway. So everybody, if you're new here, we put colors in the chat. This is a 2-word color, everybody. Yep, it's softer. Yes, it is. The KC Gold is a softer one. And it just doesn't give you that bright, brassy. I don't know how else to say that it's a brass. Okay, you know, I've been thinking about this, and I didn't think about it until just now. I mean, I've known all day long. All right, it's our youngest birthday, so it would be Ryan's daughter. I have the two oldest and he has the youngest. And I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, we don't have a 22-year-old anymore. We have a 23-year-old. I don't know why that all of a sudden hit me going, Cowell, we don't even have a 22-year-old anymore. All right. Lucky Charm. You're lucky. You guessed Sunshine Yellow. Oh, give it to some. Oh, I already said it. So we're okay. Why won't it? There we go. I can gift it to someone if you want me to. But I love that one. Red wine, Teresa. I love it. But I was gonna say, I can't believe she's 23. Did it hurt? Did it make me feel like old when our oldest turned 30? Nope, not at all. I just think that, okay, you guys put, who's the first person to name what is the capital of Texas? If you guys get that. I love that, Teresa. And Teresa got it. Teresa T. Thank you, Lori, for the heart me. So you and I have the same age for our youngest there, Joya. Thank you for the heart me, Lucky Charm. I hope that this week's tutorials are what you guys want to have. How we can change things up to make them for the trends. How we can make it a little bit different. Because where I want to go to is I want to get to where when we get to instead of doing all the claiming, that we're going to be doing that taking care of what your list requests are on the studio, that we can spend more time talking about different techniques or how we can make a little bit of a change, and as a community talk about it, because I think that helps us grow in our designing and creativity of what we're doing. You're funny, Joya. I'm like, I have yet to feel old. My kids might be old, but I'm not old. I'm gonna go on the same lines as Teresa. And I thought when my first one, Stacey Ann, turned 21, I'd feel old, and I didn't. I was like, okay, they're a legally drinking adult now. Literally, that was the thought. And each time every one of them turned 21, I was like, all right. So, but let me know what your thoughts are on this, because what I want it to be is that we're going to spend some time, and I will show you what we're going to have debuting each week in a live. So just like we do now on Tuesday nights and Friday nights, I will be sitting here going, hey, this is what's out there. And then there's going to be a place on the studio where you can go find it very easily. So you're not having to hunt for it and that type of thing, and then be able to do that. I still want to be able to do our encores, because I don't want it to be that you get lost out in the studio trying to find things, or you forget about, oh, I could have used that, or I forgot how to use that and I'm just going to pass it. I want to spend time talking about how to use the different items, how for you to be able to just change and grow. And it was so funny. I watched a TikTok today where someone said, you don't need an entire collection. And I'm like, look at my collection. And, but what it is that you have on hand those items so that you can create your collections. And I'm like, I just pull things. I am not a collection person. But like Stacy, she is creating a collection, and that's supposed to be launching. Is it next week, Stacy, or is it this week? Where'd the time go? That's what I think too. She did launch it. Okay. So Stacy's launching a collection. And the thing is that I think that's what gives us our differences of who we are. I have never been one that makes a collection. When someone can do that, I find it truly amazing. And so that's the thing to think about is which way do you want to go? And either way is okay. If you don't have a collection, have oh no. That's what happens when we have the littles. They might not be little, but they usually do. And the thing is that the thing with it is that you just have to be cohesive. If you see what I do when I would design and did my in-person events, everything was like, and you guys see it when I do the events here live for the claiming, I did like the same bead in like 5 or 6 different colors. Did I design them all the same? No, but they all went together. So kind of like what Nordic Luna was talking about, I do have 8 different colors of this triangle bead that will be up for claiming throughout the next few weeks. That's where I would take that and I would design things so that they could be interchangeable, that you could layer your bracelets, you could layer your necklaces. They were always matchy-matchy, but... Huh? Oh, nice. Okay. I'm like, nice, huh? I wasn't getting that. So thank you. And that's why I want you guys to think about is if you're not doing per se, like her collection is each is individual, but they all go cohesively together because it's based upon a color theme. So that's what I want. And maybe mine was a collection because I was using the same bead, but I didn't think of it as a collection like I think of hers. So that's what I will say on that. So I hope you guys like what we're doing. I want to go to more of this where I'm going to show you different things and we're going to talk about tips and tricks and we're going to have more one-on-one conversations while we're designing here, just like we did today. You guys helped design it. You guys helped think it through. We talked about it and now you guys can take it and run with it. So that's what I want to do more of and see more of here in 2026. So there you go. I hope it's all right. You guys all have a good day. We will not be live tonight. It is family night. And you're going to laugh. Our family night, we've decided, is we're going to clean the house as a family together. You know, Buttercup has got to learn to clean too. And we give her a chore, but we've never, ever done that. When it's a cleaning day, she has to help. I love just turning on music, dancing around, talking, having fun, and clean together. So we're going to try that tonight and see how well she likes it. She might not, but it's okay. All right. So, but we'll be back at 2 o'clock tomorrow. We will have a chat time. I will be probably more than likely stickering because they are here. The wallets are in. So we'll be stickering all day tomorrow for that. Yeah, I grew up, my kids helped. When I met my husband, he's like, why are you doing that? Like he never had to do that with his parents. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was normal. And so tomorrow night at 7 p.m., we're going to have a bead event. I'll talk about what kind of beads we have in tomorrow's chat. So if you want to learn early what we got, come to that one. And then Saturday, we will be doing the silicone event where we'll have some St. Patrick's Day focals. We'll have some prints. We have those rondelles and we will have the wallets. Yeah. Yep, that's it. I love those ideas, Stacy. Thank you. So it's literally, we're going to have some fun tonight doing something that's not so fun. That's my goal for the night. All right, everybody. You all have a great day and evening, and we'll see you tomorrow at 2. Bye.